More opinions. This one's more intense, I think.
Someone please explain to me what is wrong with men nowadays. Like, since when was it the woman's job to message first? Since when was it the woman's job to pay on the first date, even though the man was the one that instigated the dating in the first place? I don't mind going halves, but expecting me to be the one that dishes out the payment, the entire payment for the entire bill, that's crazy to me.
Okay, so since when, huh? I can very easily answer the question of since when, okay? Since when did women start regularly vaping? All right, so I see you waving a vape around in your hand and stuff. Women used to never do this. Women used to be more modest. Women were more devoted to the church. Women were more devoted to the family. Women were more inclined to be submissive. Women were more likely to respect men. So we can play this game all day, but why would a guy have to do the same things he used to do in the past and get a fraction of what they used to get? It doesn't make any sense. At least back then, there was a standard where a guy had to go through these infinite walls in order to get the girl, even though the girl really liked him. So back then, a girl couldn't really chase a guy because she was so restricted. Okay? It's always been the same. The woman has to be submissive. The woman was always chasing, right? The problem was back then they couldn't be as overt about it as today because there's so many defense walls, brothers, fathers, grandfathers, you name it, right? Everybody in the town, even the neighbors would watch over other people's children, right? The daughters were always more protected. So girls were pursuing, but in complete silence and very, very covertly, right? So this has always been the case. Now, obviously, you're playing into this mainstream idea that men used to chase all the time and women would just get the guy. So I understand where this fantasy comes from, but it isn't exactly that simple, okay? Women still have to indicate their interest. The moment you as a woman indicate your interest, that's the beginning of the chase, okay? When you indicate your interest, that is you chasing, okay? Let's just be honest about it. So this is not quite that simple. Girls love to play into this fantasy that men used to just chase girls to the ends of the earth, right? But back then, there was something to get. Today, not nearly as much to get because what girls used to offer then was obviously bedroom fun and other things. Today, it's just bedroom fun. And that's it. So that's why women are expected to chase because you just don't offer what you used to. And guys are tired.
Since when did men expect the woman to be the chaser and the men to be the one that's just sat receiving, being pretty and not doing nothing? It's not a woman's job to pursue.
Yes, it is. It always has been because women only like guys that are more valuable, right? They bring way more value to the table. Therefore, they are the prize. Therefore, they're the ones that are worth pursuing. It's quite simple. Outside of all the fantasy, right? The problem is people get really mad at that statement, right? But the average guy is less valuable than the average girl because the average girl does everything the average guy does and has more to offer. Okay? It's just the reality. As soon as you start trying for an above average guy, it starts to change, right? Guy provides more value because if you look at most of the top earners, financially speaking, and I don't think it's just financially based, right? But finance is an easy and measurable thing we can look at in order to determine value. Okay, so yes, it's not perfect because some guy could go out there and get his trust fund from his dad or whatever and have millions and millions of dollars, right? But I'm talking more about the self-made ones, right? Which is the majority. It's not like everybody out here is getting millions of dollars. Okay, if we're talking about that guy provides much more value because there's less of him than there are women, right? There's less of him. So this is just natural that he's going to be more desirable. Therefore, supply and demand economics, he's more desirable. People need to chase him. Girls can be delusional all they want. Okay, then get yourself an average guy. If you don't feel like chasing is worth it, then settle. But you don't want to settle either. So which one is it? You want the best guy to come down from his throne, chase you because you're so valuable and special and worth it, even though he probably has access to a bunch of you. You know, it's not very flattering, but it's the truth.
The whole point of a male is to be a hunter.
Yeah, hunt goals, right? Not necessarily hunt women. If you hunt women all the time, you'll find really quickly that your energy will be depleted and you'll have nothing of value at the end. Okay, and a lot of guys report this. You start chasing women a bunch. Sure, you might get lucky here and there, but then very quickly your life sort of goes to... So is it really worth hunting women? Okay, because in order for us to get good at hunting, we have to hunt multiple. So I know in your mind, in your fantasy world, you think that we need to hunt, but only you. okay? Because you're special. So we should only be hunting you, but nobody else. But we all know that's not how it works, even in sales, right? If you try to focus on one lead and only one lead, you will go out of business because you can't make profit from just one lead. You have to spread, okay? You have to put your eggs in multiple baskets to expect to get ahead and make some profit. Or sell anything at all, to be honest.
To hunt for the prize, which is the woman. And I'm not saying the woman needs to bring nothing to the table, but for goodness sake, do something.
What do you bring to the table? This is what I really want to know, because girls always pretend like they're the prize, but what did they bring to the table? I never ask girls this question, obviously. In a date scenario, never say this, guys, ever. I don't really care how direct you want to be or whatever. This is non-classy behavior. Never sit a girl down and say, what do you bring to the table? Let her show you. The problem is most of the time what they show you is nothing. So, like I said, with the vape in hand. Look, I'm not even a hater. I'm just saying back in the past, women used to not vape. It was very, very rare. Or smoke, really.
Like, is it just me that thinks this? Am I losing my mind? My man told me if a woman is not satisfying her man, he will go find satisfaction elsewhere. But how can you expect her to satisfy you when you're doing the bare minimum?
This is your perception. It's your perception that he's doing the bare minimum, but in reality, he's probably doing way more than most guys. You chose him after all, right? He's probably above average, so he's definitely not doing the bare minimum. This is just your lame perception because you drank the Kool-Aid and you think that you deserve the whole world and give nothing.
If that, to even invest in her and to show her that you like her and to show her that you're worthy of having her. To expect
you're worthy of having her. What does this man get? Why is it always on the man to prove his worth? Like, who created this idea? Right? It's obviously a psyop, right? Because it doesn't make any sense. It's not on the man to prove his worth to you. The moment he starts doing that, you don't respect him because now he's living for you. Women don't respect men that live for them. Okay, women change their minds every 2 seconds. If you start living for women, you're going to live a very chaotic life, and it's not going to be in your favor even slightly. And any real man knows this, right? So, I don't know, this whole notion is just stupid.
Me to keep chasing you because you've been hurt in the past, so you're taking out your trauma onto me.
Sounds a whole lot like projection, honestly.
And telling me that I need to show up in places that your ex didn't show up, it does not add up. I've been traumatized too. You're not showing up for me in ways that I expect you to show up.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, right? Girls get super combative because they think now that they have a leg to stand on, but they really don't. It's very, very rational. No, the problem is guys are tired of having a girl come into their life, asking all these questions, pushing the needle, but not necessarily doing anything or doing that much. A lot of times guys get themselves into situations where they're making the majority of the money, they're doing what they're supposed to do, but they're still expected now to do, half the housework and all these other things that girls expect them to do, and it just doesn't add up, right? And guys will still do it and girls will still complain that they're doing the bare minimum because they don't want to go out every weekend. Right? I think the perception that girls have of what guys can do is off. What they should do is also off, right? Everything about it is just delusional.
If anything, you're doing way less than what my ex did. And my ex cheated on me. I would rather go back to my ex who cheated on me and give him another opportunity than be sat here trying to chase you, pursue you, and invest all my energy into you because you're draining me. You're literally draining me.
I'm sorry to tell you, you're draining yourself. Okay, you're draining yourself. You're not that special.
You're sitting there telling me how much you like me and how much you see a future with me. But the thing is, I can't do this.
Well, feel free to go back on the market because we all know how fun the market really is. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you want to see more of my private content, don't forget to check the link in the description below.